Hey, good morning everybody. Ed Froelich with Ocean Deep Fishing. Hope you guys are doing great on this Saturday morning. So today is a little something different I'm doing. Since I've gone to my new house, I have started a garden. And I know you guys come here for fishing videos, and unfortunately we haven't been able to get out here lately, but there is some exciting stuff coming up here soon, weather permitting. But anyway, I've been asked a lot on my Instagram and Facebook pages on why don't I do a video of my garden. This is my first time actually doing a garden this size, so it's all kind of new to me and everything, so I didn't think that would be that interesting, but been getting a lot of comments on doing a walkthrough of my garden. So today that's what I'm going to do. Now if you guys aren't interested in a garden, I understand totally. You come here for fishing, so you might as well just go ahead and end this video for yourselves. If you are interested to see what's going on over there, hey, come on along the tour, stick around, and I'll show you what's going on. Okay guys, we are in the garden here. I'm going to take you through and show you what we're growing and how things are looking right now. I've started the gardening about end of January, 1st of February. Planted everything from seed. Was going to buy some starting plants over there, but they were expensive this year. They're like $5 a pop. So I decided to grow everything from seed, and so far everything's going good. So let's take a walk through the garden. I'll show you. So coming along my fence line here, I've decided to grow the squashes. Here I've got my zucchini going. Now something interesting that I just found out looking through YouTube, you see the flowers over here. So these plants have flowers that are both male and female. This is the female plant. As you can see, kind of looks a little different than the next one I'm going to show you. And this is the male plant. And they're self-pollinating plants, and the bees come over here and they grab the pollen and go from plant to plant. Or you can manually pollinate them, which I'm doing, which I've learned. So you can take this male flower here, pull the petals off, and that little this little spot right here, you take and you move it over and you touch the inside of this plant, which pollinates the female. And you can see on the back side of the female there is a zucchini growing right there. We have another zucchini coming on right there, as you can see. I've been watching a lot of YouTube videos on gardening and stuff. This is my first time I've ever done this massive a garden. Of course, it's not big compared to some, but it's big for me. So I'm learning a lot of things. And here is our yellow squash. I have a really nice one growing here. That's about ready to be picked here shortly, but then I have a couple more coming that you can see on there. So I have a total of 5 yellowneck squash plants. So they say after one plant you can get 4 or 5 squashes. So you know, maybe we'll get 30 squash off these few plants I have, which is pretty good. Okay guys, next is my cucumber plants, and they're very slow starting, but they're starting to come around now. I just fertilized them last week, so they're picking up. So let me show you those. So they're doing good. Got a lot of flowers right here. As you can see, I've got a little cucumber coming right there. It's the first one out, coming out over there. But they say the cucumber plants, you usually have a pretty good yield, so I'm expecting quite a few. We make a Greek salad with cucumbers, tomatoes, and that, so hoping that we get quite a few. Yeah, I don't know if you've been to the produce section here lately in the stores and noticed how high the prices are. So I mean, I can't grow everything we need, but the stuff that we use a lot of that is high dollar price, I'm trying to grow just to cut down on the cost, and plus I'm enjoying having fun. There's days I can't get out on the water. I need something to do, so I've decided to grow this garden. So the days I don't have a chance to go out and catch some fish, hey, we're growing something for the garden to go along with the fish when we do get them. Okay, let's move on to green beans. This is our green beans right here, and they're doing really well. Let me show you. You can see getting a lot of green beans there. They're just loaded. You can see them hanging over there. It's a pretty good size there. Need to pick some. Probably gonna need to pick a load today. So I just watched a video about how to freeze things, because I don't know if you've ever grown a garden, but when you do grow a garden, you usually get more stuff than you can eat at one time. And so that it doesn't go bad with all the efforts you put into it, I like to find ways to freeze them. And you can check out the updates that I do from a weekly thing on my Instagram page. And that's one fish too big. Number one fish, number two big on Instagram, one fish too big. And you can also follow me on Facebook, Ocean Deep Fishing. I try to post things weekly on the garden if you're interested, seeing how things are coming along, or if you want to start your own garden. You know, I'm giving bits and tips on, you know, my experience of what we're doing. Okay, so I have a pretty good, there's probably 15 plants in here. And so far we've had 2 dinners, and then I've made some string beans with a stew, and I've put 2 packages in the freezer. And today I'm probably going to pick enough to do another package or 2. As you can tell, there's not a lot of plants here, but they do a pretty big yield, so you get a lot of product from there. Okay, next we're going to do, so this is my broccoli all on that ledge. No heads of broccoli showing up yet. Probably another 2 weeks until you start to see a head show in the middle of the plant. Had a very poor germination with the seeds of the Brussels sprouts, but I do have a few plants that are coming and they're starting to look good, so I'll show you those. Those are in the middle between the broccoli and the beans. Those are Brussels sprouts. They're going pretty good, and I've got 2 more, one there, one there. So I had the whole line up here of Brussels sprouts, but for one reason or another, the seeds didn't germinate, and a couple did come up and they ended up dying off real quick, so not sure what that was. But and then here's some potatoes growing. These are at the last stage of the potatoes. They got a blight on the leaves, so I had to rip up a lot of them. We got so far 2 meals out of the potatoes. So next year I definitely have to plant more than what I did this year in order to last a little longer and get a few more meals out of it. So this garden today, this year, is a test run to see what we can grow, what we can't grow, and it'll give me a good idea of if the plants I planted this year give enough yield to last through the summer and maybe into the fall, or if I have to plant some more plants in order to get a bigger yield. So that's kind of what we're doing this year. And these are Redskin potatoes, by the way. I had a bag that went bad that was in my pantry. They had ears on them growing because they were just getting old. So I quartered them, put those in the ground about 6-7 inches deep. That's what grew from them right out of the pantry. So that was pretty good. And then here's my cilantro. It's starting to come off real good. Got some more cilantro coming there. And then right here I've got some parsley that's coming up. Then I have these onions here. Now I didn't grow these onions. These came up out of my compost. I had some compost here that I was throwing from onions that I prepared for when we were doing peppers and onions and stuff, and I just threw them in the compost. They grew out of there. You can see I got another one coming right here, and I have that's a cantaloupe plant from a cantaloupe that I cleaned, and I threw the seeds and stuff in there. So there's a lot of stuff you can grow right from the product you pick up from the store with the seeds in it. After you clean them and you throw them in the ground, they will grow. So if you get a really tasty cantaloupe or really tasty watermelon, save those seeds. You can grow off that variety of melon that you purchased if it was good. So just something to keep in mind that I learned through the process here. And then we have our corn, yellow corn. It's about 4 weeks old from when I planted the seeds to what it is now. It's about a foot tall, so they're coming good. From seed to corn till you can harvest some corn is about 110 days. So we still have another, probably by the middle to end of June, we should be picking corn. So it takes a while for the stuff to grow. And then my tomatoes, which are doing really well right here. I have 11 tomato plants. They're coming really good. These are beefsteak tomatoes. I like beefsteak because they're a little bigger typically. And then I have another smaller one I started earlier. That's beefsteak. And then I have another one here. And this is the what they call plum tomatoes or Roma tomatoes. And they're really slow going. I don't know what's going on with them. I planted those here before I planted these here. And they're going awful slow. So, and then I prepared a garden area here. You can see the square. This is going to be for a pumpkin patch. So the pumpkin seeds go in the end of June, and they should be ready 2 weeks before Halloween. I'm growing this for my grandson. Hopefully that we'll have some pumpkins over there that he can take a couple home to carve, and hopefully it's nice and full so we can get some pictures with him in a small pumpkin patch. And then I still have a lot of space here, as you can see, that eventually I'm probably going to turn it. Probably 90% of this is going to be garden, probably from the corner of the house straight this way, and then all that area there. Eventually it'll probably be garden if this works out. And trust me, it looks nice and it's good, but it's a lot of work. It's almost a, everyday task to come out and do something in your garden if you want to be successful. So I tinker with it every day, and it's a good for the days that I have off. I can't go out on the boat. Gives me something to do. Plus, we've purchased this property so that we had a little bit of yard, and it gives us a return for our investment of the yard rather than just growing grass and cutting it. We're taking up the space and growing actually vegetables that we can eat. So it's pretty exciting. I'm excited about it. And I hope to expand this after this year. I'll have a little bit more knowledge of what grows here in Florida. If you live in Florida, a lot of typical Florida, throughout most of Florida, is a lot of sand. So you have to amend the soil. And by amending, I mean you have to put nutrients back in the soil besides just sand. Sand doesn't hold any water or moisture. So when you water the thing, it goes right through the ground. So you need to amend it with some compost, manure, and then I use peat moss as well. Get all three of those things, mix them in a wheelbarrow together, and then I put them in the ground, turn them in. So next year, if I decide next year I'm gonna increase my garden and do a garden, I will be getting a small rototiller. Doing it by hand with a shovel is fun, but as you get bigger and bigger, it just takes too much time to do that. So dogs are going nuts. Somebody just walked by. All right, guys, I hope you liked the little tour of the garden. Hope it answers some of you guys' questions that you've been asking me about what I'm growing and how I'm growing and everything. Everything you see here, like I said, grew from seed. This is my first year doing this, so I'm learning a lot. I've spent a lot of time on YouTube on everything I've planted. I watched several YouTube videos on how to plant it, when to harvest, the soil nutrients that each of the plants need. So it's a lot to learn. It's like going to college. There's a lot to learn here in order to grow your own vegetables and make it successful because you do put a lot of time in doing all this here. So, you know, if you're taking it serious and you actually want to get something out of it that you're putting into it, there's a lot to learn. But anyway, I hope I answered some of your questions you have that you've been asking me, and I'm going to give you another update probably in a month or so. I'll do another short video on how the garden's coming along. So if you like this, give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed already. Hit the notification bell to let you know the next time that we upload. And if you have any questions on anything I went over or in the garden, hey, feel free to put them in the comments. I do answer all my subscribers that ask me questions, so I will get back to you. So until we get on the water again, tight lines, everybody. God bless, take care, and we'll see you on the next one.